A small group of people who had very loud voices created a scenario where bad people got rewarded.
She is 100% right. It has nothing to do with Republican or Democrat. It has everything to do with right or wrong. Common sense. How are you guys all doing? Welcome to the channel. I'm Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man. Hey, look, I appreciate every last one of you guys taking time out of your day to view my content. If you enjoy my content and like to see more of what I do, make sure you follow me on all the platforms you see listed up here and down here. And also, for my content to consistently be recommended to you, clicking that right there is how it's done. That does not mean you like me or you like the video, yada, yada, peanut butter. It simply means keep on recommending Ty stuff to me. That's how it works, folks, all right? Appreciate it. All right, folks, so I hope you guys are all doing well today. I have to show you guys this video because I absolutely 100% love it. I always said to myself when I used to watch this woman since I was a teenager that she seemed to be a person that was about integrity. And reason why I like her so much as well, because the way that she is on her show, Judge Judy is who I'm talking about. In case y'all haven't figured it out, the title should have gave it away. But the way that she is very similar to how I am when it comes to discipline. I don't give no you're not gonna give me no excuses for why you do the things that you do, especially when you know not to do them, right? Ty, what are you talking about? I'll show you what I'm talking about. Check it out.
I love America Reports. America's crime crisis is worrying, but don't take my word for it. I'm not a judge. Judge Judy is. TV's Judge Judy Scheinlin says she's very aware of the chaos unfolding on streets across America and also knows exactly how we got there. Watch this.
Oh, I know what we got here. We got here because a small group of people who had very loud voices created a scenario where bad people got rewarded and the victim got punished by the system. You know, there is always a reason for criminal behavior. You're mentally ill, that's a reason. You took drugs, that's a reason. You took alcohol, your brain is fried. Whatever it is, there's a reason. There is never, excuse me, I get excited. There is never an excuse for bad behavior. And when society started to make excuses for bad behavior and react to criminality based upon the excuses, it fell apart.
So obviously, Emily, as a judge, as a jurist, she has a different perspective. Why are lawyers and judges so able to see what has gone wrong and DAs and politicians are not?
Well, respectfully, I think her view was actually sort of irrespective of her role as a member of the jurisprudence machine here, irrespective of her role as a judge. Man, that was just common sense. Yeah. That was pure common sense. And I think what we have seen is the result of a vocal minority and people in decision-making capacities who have made horrible decisions on behalf of the so-called victims that they created, to her point about excusing bad behavior. Oh, this actually violent theft? No, it's just because they're poor. You know, people who subscribe or ascribe certain labels excusing felonious, violent, unacceptable societal behavior, and then installed people who abdicated their duty. So instead of a district attorney actually prosecuting, instead you have an activist in that role who utterly fails at their job. And because of it, there has been an epidemic of people who have lost their lives in this country and who have lost their livelihoods, and both of those are inexcusable.
They are inexcusable, and you can feel the difference. You can feel the shift. It used to be the golden axioms of liberty: don't hurt people, don't take their stuff. Why does that no longer apply?
I don't know, but I just, Judge Judy and Judge Janine are saying the same thing, so something must be really true here. Again, I think you've changed, she's right, you've changed the narrative that something's wrong with the defendant, something's wrong with the perpetrator, and so let's try to fix them, as opposed to going, you did something wrong, we're going to hold you to account. I was an elected DA for 8 years. You have a very close relationship with your community, with your public, because it's your job to keep them safe. And something weird has happened within the voting population of these cities that are electing woke prosecutors who aren't enforcing the law, and the results are catastrophic. I hope that there's a realignment, a rethinking of the voting base to go, we want actually people that will enforce our laws, put bad people behind bars, and keep us safe. Hopefully that change is coming.
I mean, is there a way of doing it before we reach the point of no return? That's what worries me, is that these cities get so bad you won't be able to bring them back. They talk about that in San Francisco, but we have to be optimistic. We have to be forward-looking. So what can we do? What can be done?
Well, look, the headwind of illegal immigration at our border is going to be tough because you've got so many more illegal drugs on the streets today. And it's not just fentanyl. I mean, fentanyl moving around allows other things to move too. They're using it as an additive, so on and so forth. So you have more deaths from drug overdoses and the such. So that's a headwind against the system of going. And I'm always an optimist about this, but I'm also a realist. You've got to deal with your immigration issues now because these cities are being infiltrated, if you will, by people who will continue to exploit your soft on crime policies. It's their way of living. You know, you hear about the Venezuelan prison gang who came here when the prisoners emptied out and came here. We didn't stop them. They're gotaways. They're in our cities now. That puts pressure on the system. So, Kennedy, like you, I want to have hope that our cities can turn around, but hope isn't strategy. We got to strategize our way out of this.
Yeah, it's certainly not enough. Maybe Judge Judy should be the one running for president.
Yeah, that hat,
listen,
I'm telling you.
Yeah, and she looked good in that hat. She was like in vacay mode, but like speaking a lot of truth. And what she's absolutely right. And it's refreshing to hear somebody like her say it and say it with such force and such conviction. And what she's talking about is that this is an ideology where progressive Democrats like Cori Bush believe that criminals are victims of a racist America, which is not true. But there's all of these policies as a result of that thinking. Broken windows policing is now a dirty word, but it worked. And now that it's gone, there are smash and grab robberies and everything and every single Dwayne Reed in cities across the country and CVS is now locked up as a result. People are losing their jobs because these stores are closing as well.
See what I mean? See what I mean? All of this should be simple, folks. That is 100% right. The reason why we have so many issues that we have today is because folks have given these lunatics a reason to remain lunatics. What's the reason, Ty? No discipline. What's the reason, Ty? Don't have to be accountable. What's the reason, Ty? No consequences. That's why they're doing nothing more than enabling them. This is so funny to me. You might as well just don't make drugs illegal. Why? Don't make drugs. There's nothing wrong with doing drugs. There's nothing wrong. I mean, we know that they can fry their brain, kill their liver, kill their kidneys, kill their spleen, kill most of their bodily functions, physiologically speaking. But hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Completely blows my mind. The reason why most folks are falling into this is simply what she said. We're in a society making it to where the victims, the real victims, are the ones that are being looked at as criminals, while the criminals are the ones being looked at as being victims. Absolutely ridiculous. And the reason why it is because a lot of folks, y'all let it happen. There's nothing wrong with bullying, is it? No, there's nothing wrong with bullying. But when people begin to speak up against it and stand up against it, all of a sudden it's, well, y'all didn't have to do them like you didn't have. Oh, how did y'all even let it get this far? Common sense will tell you if you do something wrong, there is going to be a consequence. But the way the society is trying to reroute everything is if you do something wrong, we need to just see what's going on with you, why you do it. No, if you know what you're doing is wrong and you still choose to do wrong, you are going to face the consequences of it. I'm not going to give you no excuse for the bad behavior that you're doing, especially when you know you're not supposed to be doing it. It's easy. Ask my mentees. Ask my grown sons. Even my sons are right now grown. My sons are 22 and 20. Ask them as them being grown men right now, ask them if I still let them give me an excuse. Well, they don't even have to worry about that. I mean, all that stuff got broken when they were like 10, 11 years old. I had no problems with my sons when they were teenagers or nothing like that. Now, when it comes to discipline, law, and order, no, none whatsoever. None, folks. It's not hard. You guys make it hard. You want to know why? Because you didn't break this stuff out of these folks when they were young. You didn't break it. You listen to society. Oh, don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do it. And now your kids are crazy. Criminals are crazy. Like she said, it's a lot of reasons. Did you hear? It's a lot of reasons. Mentally ill, drugs. But when she said there's no excuse for the bad behavior, you know what that means? That means they know what they're doing is wrong, and yet they still choose to do it. No excuse. I don't care what you say. I came from a single parent home, Didn't have a father in my life. I can't use that as an excuse of why I'm going to go around and rob people and beat people and sexually assault people. I didn't have a father, so that's why, you know what you were doing was wrong. It doesn't matter. But right now, the system has it to where, well, he didn't have his, man, no excuse. That's why my mentees right now will tell you, I don't care. I'm going to grab you, slam you up against the wall. I don't care. You know you're not supposed to be doing that. Shoot, but everybody else, I don't care what everybody else got or didn't got. That has nothing to do with what you did at all. I know I'm different though. But guess what? That's why we have a high success rate. A high success rate with our young folks. We giving them reality. We giving them reality. And that's why right now, the ones who don't give those kids that guidance, that strength, that don't take no nonsense, the ones who guide children that way, kids do good. The ones who don't, oh, poor little baby. Oh, it's too hard for him. Oh, mental illness is what you got going on. Let them continue to do what they're doing. Let them have this. And now these kids get out there in the real world and they can't even make it. It's so hard. These kids are on here saying things like, I have to work 8 hours. What? I didn't know that paying bills were gonna. You want to know why? You didn't give them the reality. My son, my oldest one, he got his own place and everything. Guess what? Piece of cake. Want to know why? Dad gave him the realities of the real world. The real world is not going to care about you. The real world is not going to care that you had this going on or that going on. My son came from a very good home. And when he got out there, he still seen the realities that, guess what? Even though he came from a very good Christian home with a strict father who kept him on straight street, my son is doing very well. But he was like, whoa, Dad, yeah, you're right. Woo, they showed on. I can't eat out as much as I used to. Oh, man, Dad. Ooh, I got to save up. Oh, yeah, exactly. But guess what? He came from a good home. If you come from a home that is a bad home, guess what? You're still going to have to face that same reality that my son is facing. Life does not care, but the only difference is my son was prepared for it. Y'all that letting these kids get away with anything they do and giving excuses for them, you are not preparing them for the real world. And that's why they are all failing right now. They all breaking down. They all having these mental issues because the real world smacked them across the face and said, I don't give a good goddamn about your pronouns. I don't give a good goddamn about your feelings. I don't even care about your mental health. Pay these bills. I can't make, oh my God. Yeah, check into a hospital or something like that. Anyway, how did I even get on that? That was for somebody. Guys, let me know what y'all think about this. Leave it in the comments below at the video. What is your take on what Judge Judy said? Do you agree with her? Do you disagree with her? Whatever it may be, let me know why in the comments after this video. And don't forget, click that right there so that my content can consistently be recommended to you. And also, don't forget to check your cell phones. If there's one person in your cell phone that you did not tell about this channel, please let them know about this channel. If you have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, DM somebody that you know would benefit from the content that I put out, all right? Really do appreciate it. Let's hear it, folks. I am Ty Smith, modern Renaissance man, and I hope and pray every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I pray every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.